Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. Today's layout will be documenting my little boy when he was 5 in year 1 at school, and they'd had a Build-A-Bear built. They all went up to build it together, and then they each took it in turns, taking her home and documenting about what they'd done with her that evening. So her name was Annabelle Bear, and James was very proud to have her for the whole weekend. So I wanted to create a background with black paint stripes, so I just grabbed some cheap acrylic black paint I've had for ages in my stash. I think the kids used to use it when they were younger to paint with, and a large wide paintbrush, and I'm just building up these stripes on the background. It reminds me very much of Heidi Swap doing something like this. And it was amazing how much paint it took. With hindsight, I probably should have watered it down a bit, but you'll see I'm just going to put the 3 stripes down, and then I'll turn the page around to check that they're relatively even coming out on either side. And because I've got 2 photos that I'm putting on here that are both just under 6x4, I wanted to make sure that they were definitely wide enough so that they did show beneath the photos. Look to check that it's right, and then just bringing my photos in to check that they are wide enough, and I'm happy with that. So then that just gets left to dry, and then I'm bringing in some tissue paper to map the photos onto. You'll see me doing this quite often. It just softens the edges of them without adding something too bold behind. So doing each one just with wet glue and then cutting roughly around the edge. And then I'm going to come in with some adhesive foam and just back those photos so that they stand up proud from the layout, which is something I tend to do a lot, just to make the photo the focal point of the layout. So just doesn't have to be precise the size, it's just to raise up the middle. And those eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that I started off with a pile of sun chaser products next to my layout when I was doing the painting, but while it was drying I changed my mind and I pulled out my Vicki Boutin Sweet Rush and some other stickers, 6x12 stickers that I've got. So I'm just going through the Sweet Rush stickers first to see if there's anything I want to add, and then just to give myself some thinking time about where I'm going to go next, I stick the photos down. I know that these need to go where they are, so there was no need to delay sticking them down, and because they're on the foam it's easy to tuck bits underneath if I want to. So again, just with my T-ruler checking that they're straight. And I love these thickers from American Crafts. These were from a good few years ago now. At first I thought they'd be absolutely perfect for this layout, but then I quickly realised that black on black doesn't work that well, so a lot of these weren't possible for this layout, but the stars and the other coloured stickers were brilliant. I love the primary colours in it. So just pulling some stickers off and having a play around. The adhesive is more or less gone and it doesn't stick terribly well to acrylic paint anyway, so it's easy to position and reposition while I work out exactly what I want to put where. And then these are Sweet Rush 6x12 stickers. I'm just going in with an arrow and trying the placement, but I wasn't happy with that. And then I find one of these little tabs that I add to the top of the photo. It just says this here, which I like. And I love this photo of James. When he was younger, whenever we asked him if we could take a picture, he always had this squint. I don't really know where it came from. But always, my husband calls him one eye, because he always squinted with that one eye. And then that, love this piece in the bottom right hand corner. And now coming in with my flare badges, just having a look and seeing what I've got to add. And I quickly realised that I'm doing a diagonal from top left to bottom right, so I move those stars that were on the top right. And I love that flare. It's one of the ones from Hey Little Magpie, my shop. And then just checking to see if there's anything else that I want to use on here. But nothing jumps out. So then I go back to these puffies. And I want to get more of these same colours in. I love that red arrow. So happy with the positioning there. And then these are some more Vicki Boutin puffy stickers from the previous range. It might be Storyteller, I forget now. But none of those really work for me. So going back to this Boys Rule set. And then grabbing a scrap of the Sweet Rush paper that I've got from previous layouts. And I just want to create a tag at the top. So deciding which way round to put it. And then creating my tag. And I want to add some white just so that I can have my journaling and it will stand out. So just trimming a piece down to size before I stick that onto the tag. And then I have a little play with this piece of paper to see if I want to add more layering at the top, but I decide against it in the end. So sticking that card down. And I realise that Hey Buddy isn't going to work because I want to move the tag over to the left and then it will cover the bit where I want to put the journaling. So using my We Are Memory Keepers Whole Reinforcer punch, I absolutely love this punch. You can also do this just with a larger circle and then using a larger circle punch and then using the smaller hole punch to punch through the middle, and you'll get the same effect, but this just does it all in one. So much easier. So yeah, I just don't like the colours. I think because we've got such bright primary colours in all the other accents on this page, that almost looked a little bit wishy-washy. So as I say, bringing that Hey Buddy sticker down, and then I'll just add the date and my journaling onto this homemade tag. So just popping that tag on the top and then checking what else I want to do. I'm so sorry, again, I'm out of shot. I really do need to keep an eye on that. I think I just get caught up in what I'm doing and forget to bring the layout back down when I'm working on the top of it. So just adding some more of these puffies around, introducing some of the black and white into the layout. I'll pull it down in a second so you can see what's going on. There we go. So just adding a few more puffies. of these stars. And then I decide that I want to distress the edges of that tag. So I'll grab my Tim Holtz edge distressor and just gently distress all the edges there. And now going in with my wet glue and just sticking all these puffies down. As I say, they're a good few years old now and the adhesive's starting to fail, but also with the acrylic paint behind them, it doesn't stick terribly well on them anyway. And then just as I think I'm done with this sheet, I find these little crowns, and I think it would look really cute on top of that sticker that says little dude. So just add one of them on top of there, just like that. Go for the bigger one, the smaller one looked a bit odd. Oh no, not finished, because then I see this yellow lightning bolt and I want to bring a little bit more of the yellow in, and that really brightens up that bottom corner. So now I've grabbed one of the Rosie Studio Little Dreamer puffy alphabet sticker sets. These are amazing. They're very similar to the Heidi Swap ones I've been using from the Sun Chaser range, and they just seem to go with everything. So I'm just first of all spelling out the word Annabelle for the bear's name, and the title is going to be Annabelle Bear. I'm just using my T ruler to lay the title out so that I can move it around the layout to check that I'm happy with the positioning, and also to make sure it's relatively straight when I put it down. Of course I will have to mess with the letters, because when I pull them off the ruler they never fully stick, but this just helps. And I have to pull it down to twist the T bit off the edge of my desk to get them down. So there it is, just pulling it off the edge. And as you can see, they all went wonky, so just spending a bit of time levelling them, and then I'll go in with the stickers again and spell the name Bear again on the ruler so that I can position it correctly. You'll see there I briefly thought about putting the word bear underneath the word Annabelle to centralise it, but it looks much better off to the right so that you've got that diagonal line of sight from top left to bottom right with all the embellishments there. So again, just fiddling and making sure that everything's straight. And the paper's buckled a bit, but I'm not bothered about that because once it's in the album it'll flatten out. Then my eye is drawn by this Let's Play banner, and I think that will just fill up that left hand side nicely where the title is. So try a few positions, but then it settles there. And then I want something else to go next to the word Annabelle because I feel like that's a fully space. So I see that I've got the red arrow on the right hand side, so I want to put another red arrow on the left hand side, and I want those to be more or less at the same height, so I'll check with my T ruler. going to use just the packaging from the Vickers and my hole punch to weigh it down to cover the photos, because I want to go in with some gold splatters. I love this Heidi Swap Gold mist. It's discontinued now. I do use a gold watercolour as well, but just for speed and ease I decided to go in with this today. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this process. I really enjoy creating this layout. It's very bright and different for me. I'm sure I'll do those paint strips again. I'll leave you with some close-ups. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.